Is God here right now? Is Source here right now with me where I am on this journey where it's not complete yet? And can I linger here? Hey everyone, and welcome back to Journeys with Jenni. I am Jenni, and I'm so happy you're here. Yesterday, I went to a prayer labyrinth. If you haven't seen, the logo for Journeys with Jenni is a labyrinth. I read about these for the first time in a book that a friend had given to me. The book talked about these prayer labyrinths that are all over medieval Europe. They're still there. I got very, very curious about them, and turns out there is a locator online that you guys can look up as well, Prayer Labyrinth Locator. Put in your zip code and find the closest prayer labyrinth to you. Little plug there for the prayer labyrinths of medieval Europe. I looked one up, and this is a few months ago when I went to find my first one. And the idea is to walk as slowly as humanly possible. I mean, barely lifting one foot after the other, just going as slowly as humanly possible and centering yourself, maybe saying a small prayer, doing it as a walking meditation, just walking this labyrinth, getting as centered and as focused as you possibly can. And the first time I did one, I got pretty emotional. There's a lot going on as you take these tiny, tiny little steps. The labyrinth tricks you. It really does. You start going toward the center and you're like, great, I'm toward the center. And then it takes you to the very, very outer edges. And then it starts to take you back in. And then it takes you back to the outer edges. I got emotional doing that prayer labyrinth because it really echoed this cry of my heart and the cry of my soul, which is, I want to get to the center. Does anyone remember those commercials with how many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Roll Pop? That's how I feel about my spiritual journey and my emotional journey is everything in me wants to get to the center. I was at a party once with conversation card starters, and they asked, what would the last chapter in a book about your life be titled? What would you want it to be titled? And my reply was, I finally figured it out! Exclamation mark. I would love for that to be the title of the last chapter of my life story, to say, I did it. I got to the center. I figured it out. And I don't know what it is that's so deep inside me, but I want to get there. I want to get to the answer. I have this imaginary idea of what the center is like, and that it's this destination that I can get to through the journey of life to be enlightened, to be my best self, to know the answers, to be in tune, whatever that is. There's this yearning in my soul to reach the center. And the prayer labyrinth really messed with my head because, one, it keeps taking you away from the center. But as you're walking away from the center, you realize you're still in the labyrinth. You're still on the path. And the labyrinth isn't a maze. You can't get lost. There's no wrong turns. There's no dead ends. It really is just a winding path that will always get you to the center. You cannot go wrong in the labyrinth as long as you stay inside the labyrinth. I really feel like the prayer labyrinth is trying to teach me something about letting go of that destination and that center. So I had done my first one a few months ago. And this week I was really struggling. I've been unemployed for several months now. I've been on the job search and I got really close to one. I was waiting on the edge of my seat to find out if it was going to work out or not. I could feel the anxiety and the impatience coming up in me. And I was like, okay, it's time. It's time for a prayer labyrinth. Let's go. So I found one nearby, looked up the locator, and I went and I entered and I started my slow walk. And my mind was still really fast paced, but every few steps I would have maybe a phrase or a prayer that would come to mind. And I would do that for a few steps and do that for a few steps and do that for a few steps as it changed. One of the thoughts that came to me while I was walking was just, I can trust God. I trust you. I love you. And I would take a few steps saying those phrases. I trust you. I love you. And then it would turn around and I would feel like I was saying those things, but it was God saying them to me. And with each step, it was God telling me that he trusts me, which is wild and something I need to dig into, but that he trusts me and he loves me. So I would have these different phrases happen as I went along the path. And at one certain point, my mind was still kind of wandering, but it wandered toward Ram Dass, who's one of my favorite teachers in the world. Ram Dass, who has his infamous book called Be Here Now. So I tried walking with that in mind of, I am here now. I am here now. Be here now. Just as it did earlier, I felt the switch. And instead of me trying to be present and trying to be here now, I felt like God was saying, I'm here now. I'm right here. It stopped me in my tracks on the labyrinth. I'm standing there still, and I haven't finished the labyrinth yet. I'm a little more than halfway at this point. I just wanted to soak in this feeling that God was there in that moment, that I wasn't alone. It was beautiful. It was peaceful. It opened my heart. And yet I stood there for a moment, and everything in me after a moment was ready to keep walking. I wanted to finish the labyrinth. I wanted to get to the center. Is anyone catching the metaphor here? Because it was pretty obvious to me. So in this moment where I am feeling the presence of God, a sense of peace, a sense of wonder, whatever you guys call it. I do use the word God a lot, and I'm so sorry if that's triggering a lot of people, the universe, source, whatever that intangible, higher, wonderful source of love is for you. And I could feel it in that moment, but I kept walking and tried to get to the center, doing my slow little steps like I was trying to do it correct. I was trying to do it right. I took maybe 10, 12 more steps, and I had to turn back. Something is wrong here. I don't think I'm supposed to get to the center today. I turned around and I went back to the spot where I had felt those incredible feelings and waves of peace and love and presence. I sat down and I finished my time there, sitting at this point in the labyrinth, which happened to be near the far edge. And I didn't finish. I didn't get to the center. And I think that was the lesson I was supposed to learn. Is God here right now? Is Source here right now with me where I am on this journey, where it's not complete yet? And can I linger here? I'm on a journey right now, and everyone's on their journey, and everyone is taking a different path. I have a lot of people in my life who are taking the hustle path. To my knowledge, the hustle path works, guys. It does. I have seen incredible breakthroughs from people who will not give up, and they will pour their heart and soul and being into the hustle culture. And they are getting it as entrepreneurs, as business owners, as artists, and they are just going after it and really pushing through the hard to get to the breakthrough. And they will work their butts off and they will do what it takes. And there is a beauty in it. But I'm stuck on a different path right now by choice. Am I stuck? That's a great question. But my path right now is trust. I am trying to trust Source, Spirit, God with my future, with my unemployment, which is a huge journey, which I'm sure many of you have been through, but unemployment can really mess with your self-esteem. It's like the perfect tool to mess with your self-esteem. Unemployment loves to make you feel like you will never be worthy of anything ever again, and pushing through that feeling. But I'm on a journey of trust. And I'm reading a book by a woman named Janet Connor. She wrote a book called Writing Down Your Soul, which is really helpful if you're looking into soulful journaling and really trying to get in touch with the deeper part of yourself or something to communicate with in your journal. But she wrote a second book called The Lotus and the Lily. I'm on a chapter where she says, write your own prayer, which I love. I love that idea. A lot of religious traditions have these beautifully written prayers that can really feed your soul. And sometimes they can fall flat or dry or don't pertain to you. And so there's something really powerful in writing your own prayer. So I started writing, and These are my first two lines. Jesus, my protector, my lover, my friend, take me deeper into trust. And I wrote those lines and I put my pen down and I said, that's not what I want. I don't want to go deeper into trust. We are already on a trust fall right now. We're on a trust fall of me living in the United States when I thought I would never, ever live here again. I'm on a trust fall of love, of figuring out love and relationships and how to do that in the most loving way possible and growing while you do it and noticing all of your triggers and all the things that a relationship can bring up in your life. I'm on the journey of unemployment, of trying to find security and safety and financial stability, a secure future, to know what I'm going to be doing a year from now, to feel solid. I'm on that journey. I'm on that search. And so the fact that my soul wanted to write down, take me deeper into trust, I'm not thrilled about, my friends. I wrote it. It's what my soul told me to write, but I am having a really hard time. And that's my journey, to see the people around me doing the hustle and getting results. And yet my soul is saying, trust. Don't hustle. Don't try to do all the work. Don't try to force anything to happen. Can you step back and trust? And I don't know if I can, but that's what we're working on today. So, my friends, if anyone else is there, or if you want to hit me up and talk hustle versus trust, please do. We're going to be okay. We're going to be okay on this trust journey. But I'm so thankful you're all here, and thank you for listening. Bye.